It's Stuart from WorkRest here, your Customer Success Manager, and in this video I'm going to run you through a demo of the WorkRest Hours of Rest platform. WorkRest Hours of Rest is used on hundreds of vessels from 20 to 140 metres, providing advanced compliance insights, one-click sign-offs, and printable IMO/ILO timesheets. Within the video, we're going to look at how to review your cruise entries, where to go to find information on non-compliances, and finally how to sign off and export timesheets. So to get started, when you log into your vessel dashboard, you'll land on the Hours of Rest review page, which you can see highlighted along this horizontal toolbar, which is where you'll also be able to navigate to the other Hours of Rest pages. The review page is essentially your home for Hours of Rest on WorkRest, and is where you review entries and sign off timesheets for your crew. At the top of the page, you'll find date and position filters for the review page. To navigate between months, you can either use the month selector here, or the left and right arrows here. You can also filter the page to show a specific date range within the month by clicking on the custom selection here, and then choosing your range. You can filter for a specific department or position at the end here. Underneath the filters, you'll see calendars for each of the active crew on board. The crew are split into departments and ordered by the seniority of their position. When looking at the calendar, days are colour-coded to distinguish the type of day that has been logged by the crew member. If the day doesn't have a colour or circle around it, it will be an unentered day in the future. A grey circled day means it's an unentered day in the past. A green circled day means it's a compliant work day. A blue circled day means it's a rest day. A red circled day means it's a non-compliant work day. And a black circled day means it's a leave day. Underneath the calendar, there's a summary of the number of days logged in each category. So now that we know what we're looking at, let's review some logged days. To review any day in the calendar, just click on it and the day summary will appear as a pop-up. The crew member's name and position will show at the top left with the date you're currently looking at in the middle, and you can cycle between days by clicking on the left and right arrows here. Underneath the name, there are two tabs for the summary and feed pages. The summary is where we're on currently, which will show you the logged entry, whilst the feed will show you whether the day has been acknowledged by an admin, as well as any comments made by either the crew or an admin for the day. You can enter a comment or acknowledge the day through the buttons at the bottom right of the page. So going back to the summary, you'll see the 24-hour timeline for the current day with the compliance information below. Hours of rest are displayed in a light blue colour, with work hours shown in a darker blue. If it was a day on leave, all the hours in the timeline would be black. Underneath the 24-hour timeline, you'll see a summary of the hours for the day. On the left-hand side, you have the total rest hours and total work hours for the current 24-hour period that you're looking at. This 24-hour period is always set to the day you're currently looking at, so from midnight to midnight. On the right-hand side, you'll see the total rest hours in the any 24-hour period and the total rest hours in the any 7-day period. The any 24-hour period is calculated from the start of any work period and looks ahead 24 hours. You can have multiple any 24-hour periods depending on the number of work starts within the day. So we'll always show you a summary of the 24-hour period with the smallest amount of rest. The 7-day period is looking back 7 days and calculating the total amount of rest. Underneath the summaries, you'll find the compliance information. The day we're currently on is compliant. So let's go look at a non-compliant day. So now we've opened up a non-compliant day, and you'll see that the compliance section at the bottom will now be in red and highlight the number of non-compliances found in the current day. Each non-compliance will then be listed below with the name and time frame in which the non-compliance occurs. So you'll see for the current day we've got 2 non-compliances, one for less than 10 hours of rest and one for the interval between rest periods exceeding 14 hours. The time frame for both non-compliances is from 4 o'clock in the morning on the 1st of July to 4 o'clock in the morning on the 2nd. When a non-compliant day is entered by the crew member through the WorkRest app, they'll be required to enter a comment for that day. You'll find the comment by clicking on the feed here. You can then enter your own comment as an admin here, highlighting any rectifying action that you've made. Comments will appear on the completed timesheet on the row of the day in which they're entered for. So now that we've seen the non-compliance and highlighted the rectifying action, let's look at how to sign off a timesheet. So we're going to jump back to the review and then navigate to a previous month to sign off a timesheet. In order to sign off a timesheet, the crew member needs to have completed the month, verified their account, and input a signature. If they haven't verified their account or input a signature, we'll notify you below their calendar. You can resend the verification email directly by clicking on this button here. If the crew member hasn't received the verification email, they'll just need to check they're using the correct email address for their account. So once we're good to go, you'll see a blue Sign Off Timesheet button appear. Once you've clicked that, the timesheet will be signed off and signatures will get printed on it from both the crew member and the master. The signed timesheet will get emailed to the crew member automatically, and it will be ready for you to download directly from the dashboard. You'll see the initials for the admin that signed off the timesheet, as well as the master that will appear on the timesheet below the calendar here, as well as the date that the timesheet was signed off. Once you've approved all of the timesheets of the month, you can export them all in one go by clicking on the Export button at the top of the page here. Once the export is ready, you'll find it through the Exports tab here. So that wraps up this Hours of Rest demo. If you have any questions, you can find more information through the blue chat icon at the bottom right hand side of the page, or get in touch with us directly at support@workrest.co.